Hello, this is Dr. Bob once again from Proactive Wellness and Injury Center. In this video, I want to share with you information that's going to help you to achieve the best performance of your life, and that's what it's all about. In a previous video, I was talking to you about sleep and the importance thereof. And in this one, I want to focus on sleep deprivation and how it affects your overall health. So to be reminded, I shared with you that there's over 50 to 70 million people in the United States that are sleep deprived. That means that they're not getting the quality nor the quantity of the amount of sleep that they should. That's over a third of the entire population of the United States. So how does it affect you and me? Well, one of the ways that it affects us is, as I've shown on the board here, it affects your judgment or your lack thereof of quality judgment. That means it's going to affect your memory. When you're at work and you have a job assignment to do, or you've got to pick up something at the grocery store, or you've got to return a phone call, or you've got to remember to pick up the kids at a certain time from school, or whatever it might be. I am telling you that if you're getting poor quality sleep, your memory is going to be impaired, and you're not going to be able to recall those things as quickly as you could have had you had better sleep. Also, it's going to affect your reaction time. So, think about this. If you're driving down the road and all of a sudden some little child darts out in front of you, or a person, cuts in front of you in the traffic, or they put on the left turn signal only to turn right in front of you, and it goes on and on and on. But if you had poor reaction time, just think of all of the accidents and all of the injuries, and yes, even deaths that could have been prevented had the individuals involved in those scenarios had better quality sleep. Now let's think about that financially. If we could prevent these injuries, these accidents, these deaths from occurring just by getting better sleep, how much less expensive a burden would that be on our nation and on you and I as taxpayers? Let's go a little bit further here. I told you before in another video that sleep is involved. It's paramount. It's involved in any and every and all diseases, from a common or a simple cold to the most complex of all cancers. If you have an individual that's ill, I'll show you an individual that's not getting good sleep. Also, if you show me an individual that's relatively healthy most of the time, I will also show you an individual that's getting pretty good sleep most of the time. So sleep is that very, very important to our overall health. Also, in our thinking, it affects the decisions that we make. It affects the reaction time that we have. You know how you're kind of foggy brained and whatnot, and you go, oh, I wish I'd have never said this. I wish I'd have never done that or committed to this or whatever it might be. I'm here to tell you also it affects the choices that you make in life, regardless of how major or minor they might be, even to the foods that you choose. At night, when you're hungry and that, if you're getting poor quality sleep, I assure you that the thing that you're going to reach for is going to be basically junk food to eat. That's the nature of the beast. That's what's going to happen. And that's not my opinion. That is empirical. The research shows those things. So even in the qualities of the food choices you make are going to be affected by the quality of the sleep that you get. Also, it stimulates hormones. Now, the hormones that I'm talking about here are the appetite hormones, the ones that involve your eating. And there's two of them. One is leptin, and the other one is ghrelin. Now, the leptin is a hormone that gives you that feeling of being satiated or full. And the ghrelin, now think of GER, when you're hungry, your stomach growls. That's the one, that hormone that makes you feel hungry. What happens is this, remember, leptin, you feel full, and in the ghrelin, you feel hungry. When you're not getting the proper amount of sleep, what happens is the leptin is decreased. The amount of that hormone is decreased. So you're always, or you're not feeling full. It's decreased. And the ghrelin now is increased. That's a hormone that's going to be increased. When that happens, you're always hungry because of the increase of that hormone, and because of the decrease of the leptin, you're never feeling full. You see that vicious cycle? Always eating, but never full. Always eating, never full. Not good sleep, and you're making poor choices with the food. So you're eating, you know, junk foods. So you see how this is all coming together here. Also, when you have the lack of sleep or the poor quality sleep, you're craving carbs. And the carbs and all carbohydrates are sugars, whether they be simple or complex. However, when you're sleep deprived, you're going to be craving the cheap carbs, the junk foods, the sugars, if you will. And when you eat them, remember the hormone change, the decrease in the leptin, the increase in the ghrelin. So you're going to be always hungry, eating cheap carbs, but never full. You got the picture here? And then also, what happens is your stress levels are going to increase. Now, maybe I shouldn't say your stress levels, but the way that you adapt and adjust to stress is going to be affected. You're not going to handle it too well. And we see that when people are under a lot of stress and they're not able to handle the stress well, there's what we call emotional eating. They run to the best friend that they have, and that friend is usually found in the kitchen. It's, the door opens and there it is. The food is before you, and you grab and you pick and you choose. And again, what you're doing is because you're never satisfied and you never have a feeling of being full. You're always hungry. Now you're under stress and you have emotional eating. So you're choosing those junk foods again. You're eating carbs. So what happens here? Your body, because of the poor quality sleep you're getting, it's going to store fat. And not just fat, but it's going to store visceral fat. That means you're going to start to get fat around the midsection primarily. And as that becomes fuller and fuller in its capacity, it's going to spill over into the hips, into the thighs, and so on and so forth it goes. I want you to see here this picture that I'm trying to show that's resulting from the poor quality sleep. Now, when you add these things up, let's add to the equation, it's going to slow your metabolism down. Now, look, this is demonstrated even in the way the person acts. You've had those days when you've wakened and you didn't really sleep well. You're not going through the day gung ho and with a lot of energy in that. You're kind of just getting through the day, can't wait until that clock hits that magic hour when you can check out and go home again so that you can just fall back in the chair and relax and go to sleep or whatever it might be. So the way you feel on the outside is indicative of what's going on the inside. Your metabolism is slowing down, and you know what happens then. Most people, when they go on a diet or they go to a diet doctor or whatever it might be, they're told that mantra, you have a slow metabolism. Well, look, part of that is because of the poor quality sleep you're getting. So we got here, you're making bad judgments, you're eating junk food. You got the hormone imbalance here, the leptin and the ghrelin. The one increases your hunger pangs, the other one it's lowered and you never feel full or satisfied. Then you're under a lot of stress now, and because you're under stress, you're eating, emotional eating. So you're eating this junk. The body then that you put the junk into is now storing it as fat. You're getting this visceral fat, and there's a terrible thing that's happening because during this time your metabolism also is slowed down, and now this person is blowing up. And look, I'm here to tell you something, and I'm not politically correct. I never will be, and I'll never be accused of being politically correct, but I am obligated to tell you the truth. If you're overweight, you're not healthy. I don't care how good you feel, how euphoric you may think it is, how blue the skies are, and how warm the sunshine is. You are not healthy. And it's something that has been set into motion. Regardless of what society, what picture it paints, regardless of what the doctors may say, oh, you're okay, you're only pre-diabetic, you're not a diabetic yet, oh, your blood pressure is only this, oh, this or that. I don't listen. The fact remains, if you're overweight, you are not healthy. You're not healthy. And check me on this. If you're a person that's overweight, scrutinize your sleep. See if you're getting quality sleep. See if you feel, rested and invigorated in the day. See if you feel, satisfied when you wake up in the morning with the quality sleep that you've gotten. I mean, go through the checklist that I presented in the video prior to this. Because what's happening now, if you're not getting good quality sleep, this is what's been put into motion in your body, and it's just a matter of time before a named disease, disorder, condition is attached to you. Look, if you act upon this information, if you identify these things and you resolve them, then it's going to help you to achieve the best performance of your life. And the last one there that I listed on the board is genetic disposition. Some people are predisposed genetically to have a challenge when it comes to weight. See? So this is what happens too when they are sleep deprived, when their sleep is not good quality. It kind of pulls the trigger on this particular gene, or it opens up the gate, if you will, and it allows this gene to express itself. And then this person now, despite all of what he or she may do in order to resolve the weight gain, won't be able to do it because the underlying factor of poor sleep has never been addressed. Okay? So in the next video, what I'm going to do, or I'm going to attempt to do, is to share with you some actions you can take that will help to improve your sleep. All right. So again, I want to thank you for watching this. I know that this information is going to be a benefit if it's acted upon. If you do have any comments, or if you do have any other additional questions, please, contact us, whether it be through writing those comments below, or contacting our office, or emailing us, whatever it might be. Get in touch with us, because our objective, as I said before, is to help you to achieve the best performance of your life. Hey, thanks again for watching. Until the next video, and as always, God bless.